loses some weight in the magnetic field.
Yes, it does.
Could you give the Gauss strength of the magnets that you use?
It's samarium cobalt, and I'm not quite sure on the Gauss of this magnet, but I will tell you the physical size. It's a 1/2 inch in diameter by a little bit less than a 1/4 inch. That's running these machines.
I see. Is there a moon tidal effect on your generator?
Yes, there is, and I was going to mention that, and that's a very good question, because when the full moon comes out, the pendulum does pick up the same way as the ocean bulges.
Well, we got that this evening. How about the figure 8 effect of the electrons? Lissajous electronic display, is that involved with the generator?
You can do it that way, and you will find out that it's not quite a figure 8.
What if you took, I understand this is operating, is it counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere?
It seems that all the energy machines want to run, yes, counterclockwise in this hemisphere.
What if you took this to the magnetic equator of the Earth? Would there be a loss of power? Or?
I haven't been able to do that kind of testing because I'm very limited right at this moment.
We suspect it would run in either direction on the true equator. In January, I'm going to go down to Fiji. We'll stop on the equator.
But we can engineer the systems to run either direction in this hemisphere.
Now, I have a question for Colonel Bearden. I talked to Dr. Jastrow last night on Ray Bream's show, and it was about Star Wars, particle beams, and so on. Now, Dr. Jastrow says that the Russians are planning to use MHD, magnetohydrodynamic generators, to power these particle beam weapons that actually Tesla invented way back in the 30s. And I remember that Colonel Bearden said something about the use of this death ray of Tesla's in Afghanistan. Perhaps you can comment on that again. And could you gentlemen give us an address to write to Bedini Electronics, is it, and Colonel Bearden?
I'll give you the address right now. Have you got a pencil and paper?
Yeah.
Okay, if you want information on this particular generator or any of the books that pertain to this, there's 2 places to get them. One is the Tesla Book Company at 1580 Magnolia Boulevard in Melbrae, California. I don't know the zip right offhand. And the other
94030.
94030.
Okay.
And the other is Bedini Electronics, P.O. Box 769, San Fernando, California, 91341.
341. Okay.
I always get the 2 numbers mixed up between Sylmar and San Fernando.
So does Colonel Bearden know about the death ray, any more about the death ray being used?
A little bit. Let me give you an address since you wanted that too. My address is Post Office Box 1472, Huntsville, Alabama 35807. As far as the death ray that they're using, if you have a very powerful scalar beam and you hit the human nervous system with it, the nervous system is highly nonlinear. It's not built at all like a bunch of wires carrying ordinary currents. You have something very much resembling a spark detector almost. And what happens if you hit the scalar nervous system, the scalar part of the nervous system with a strong scalar beam, you simply cut off the entire nervous system, and that's instantaneous death. Now, in Afghanistan, a very strange thing has been noted. And it's the fact that this occurs, not the fact that it's scalar at all, but the fact that this occurs has been documented in places like Jane's Defense Weekly. When the high-end helicopters, for example, come in, they've been using gas against the Afghans and testing things like mustard gas and nerve gas and so forth. And, of course, the gas kills people. And nerve gas kills them very quickly. But even with nerve gas, a biological system, it takes a short time to die. And during that time, the system convulses. Now, if you've ever seen an animal or anything killed with nerve gas, it's terrible convulsions for at least a few seconds, like half a minute or so. And a human does the same thing. But so the hind will come in and it will fire rockets, and deliver the gas and so forth, and people will die with mustard gas or they will die with nerve gas symptoms. But then there's another kind, and they're referring to it in Afghanistan as smirch. This kind, the body dies instantly right where it's at. It never makes another move, and apparently the nervous system never fires another signal anywhere. It collapses like a limp rag right there. That's it. Total instantaneous death. No chemical that I know of will do that. The other thing is, at least one occasion that is documented, an entire village was wiped out this way after the fighting guerrillas, the Mujahideen, had left. And they were able to come back to the village about 30 days later. And the bodies of all the villagers who had been killed this way had not decayed at all. No decay whatsoever in 30 days. The reason for that, apparently, was the normal things that happen when a body dies, like turning loose of enzymes and all kinds of things, because normally a body dies by degrees. And the other things that the bacteria and all that are in the body, apparently all the bacteria were killed, and the body died instantly, didn't turn loose any of the enzymes or anything, and so no decay occurred. So apparently the Soviet Union has been using, very slyly, and doing a little testing with tactical scalar beams in the nanopersonnel role in Afghanistan.